You've wasted hours on chores that were solved years before you were even born. So we hunted down 50 amazing tools that truly exist, fixing clogged drains, dead batteries, and even glass that vanishes on command. Some feel oddly satisfying, others almost impossible to believe. Stay to number 1. That's where the best hides. Dropping a screw behind the workbench used to mean moving furniture and a lot of swearing. A telescoping magnetic pickup tool ends that hunt with instant reach. Its aluminum wand stretches past 2 feet and bends on a flexible gooseneck to reach engine bays, drains, and tight gaps. A strong magnetic tip grabs, drop screws, bolts, and keys, while built-in LEDs light the dark. For a few dollars, it rescues the small metal things that always fall where you can't reach. Fighting a cork at the end of a long day rarely ends in elegance. Set an automatic electric opener on the bottle, press one button, and a motor draws the cork out cleanly in about 10 seconds without twisting, torn cork, or broken nails. A single charge handles roughly 30 bottles, and the matching foil cutter slices the seal first. Dinner parties just lost their most annoying chore. Tired of a glue gun's cord knocking things over and yanking you back to the outlet? A cordless hot glue gun cuts that tether completely, heating up in about 30 seconds and laying a tacky bead that bonds wood, fabric, ceramics, foam, and plastic almost instantly. Freed from the wall, you can glue up a ladder, under a table, or out in the yard, and it powers down on its own when set aside. Crafters and fixers reach for it daily because nothing bonds faster. That one tiny screw on a phone or a pair of glasses always strips, slips, or sends you digging for a driver you can never find. An electric precision driver fixes that with a motorized handle and a magnetic case of tiny bits for almost any screw head. A built-in light shines on the work as it spins each screw loose in moments, and the bits store neatly inside so nothing goes missing again. Repairs that once felt intimidating suddenly feel like a quick 30-second job. Your favorite sweater isn't worn out, it's just buried under fuzz. A rechargeable fabric shaver glides across the surface, while tiny rotating blades shave away every pill, bobble, and lint ball, all without nicking the threads underneath. One slow pass, and a tired jumper, fleece blanket, or couch cushion looks freshly bought again clothes you'd already written off, ready to wear. A drawer of unlabeled boxes and look-alike jars turns finding anything into a daily guessing game. A thermal label printer skips ink entirely, burning crisp text and barcodes right onto the label from your phone in one quick pass. Address labels, storage tags, price stickers, and parcel labels all roll out razor sharp, and there's never a cartridge to replace. For online sellers and organizing fanatics, an afternoon of busy work collapses into a quick, tidy stack of perfect labels. 2 snapped wires, a dead remote, a loose joint on a circuit board, all of it comes back to life with a touch of molten metal. A soldering iron kit heats a fine tip to a precise, adjustable temperature, fusing wires and components with a single touch. The full set bundles 5 tips, a stand, solder wire, and a desoldering pump to revive headphones, guitars, and toys headed for the bin. One clean joint, and a dead gadget powers back on. A popped button or a falling hem can wait days for a tailor, or vanish in under a minute right where you stand. A mini handheld sewing machine fits in one palm and runs a fast, tidy stitch through fabric without dragging out a bulky machine. Curtains on the rod, jeans on your body, a torn bag in the car, all get patched on the spot. For anyone who can't sew a stitch by hand, it turns a dreaded chore into a 30-second save. Creases always seem to win the morning rush until 60 seconds of steam erases them. A handheld garment steamer heats up fast, then relaxes wrinkles out of a hanging shirt with a curtain of hot steam. It spares you the clunky board, the scorch marks, and the endless flipping of fabric back and forth. Suits, dresses, and curtains go from crumpled to crisp in a couple of minutes with no board to drag out and nowhere to scorch. Tired of a nightstand buried under a knot of charging cables? Everything finally lands on one stand. A 3-in-1 charging dock powers your phone, smartwatch, and earbuds at the same time from a single plug, with the phone snapping on magnetically at the perfect viewing angle. It folds flat for travel and clears the clutter for good. 3 cables gone, 1 clean stand left, and your whole setup looks intentional again. The deeper this list goes, the harder these are to believe, and we're only getting warmed up. Cold leftovers at your desk are a sad way to spend lunch. A plug-in electric lunchbox gently heats your meal right in its own container, steaming it hot while you finish that last email. Versions run off a wall outlet or a car's 12-volt socket, so a home-cooked meal stays warm anywhere. By the time the break room microwave line clears, you're already pushing back an empty container. Those cans of compressed air run out fast, cost a fortune, and freeze your fingers. A cordless electric air duster replaces them forever, spinning a brushless motor to fire a powerful jet of clean air on demand. Crumbs leap out of keyboards, dust flies off PC fans, and tight car vents finally come clean. Charge it once, and reuse it forever. It pays for itself the first time you'd have grabbed a can. Fishing a cable through a finished wall sounds impossible without tearing the drywall open. A magnetic wire pulling system makes it almost magical. A powerful guide magnet rides along one side of the wall, while a second magnet carries the cable behind it, following every move. Wires snake through insulation, conduit, and tight cavities with nothing more than a steady hand. Electricians swear by it because it turns an hour of frustration into a few smooth, spark-free minutes. A dull kitchen knife is more dangerous than a sharp one. It slips, crushes instead of slices, and turns dinner prep into a fight. An electric knife sharpener fixes that in seconds, pulling the blade through spinning wheels that grind at a precise angle, then honing it to a razor edge. Built-in guides hold the blade at the perfect angle, so it takes no skill at all. The first slice afterward glides through a tomato-like paper like owning a brand new knife. Crumbs in the car seats have a way of surviving every cleanup, not against this. A cordless handheld vacuum delivers strong, focused suction with swappable nozzles built to dig into cup holders, seat creases, and floor mats. Pet hair, sand, and stubborn debris disappear without dragging out a full-size machine. Lightweight and rechargeable, it reaches the messes a full-size vacuum never could. Drying a few shirts shouldn't mean a trip to the laundromat or a rack hogging the living room. A compact, foldable clothes dryer solves it by gently tumbling small loads warm in a space barely bigger than a hamper. It asks for nothing more than a free corner. Pop it open for a quick load. Then, flatten it back into hiding. For dorms, RVs, and tiny apartments, it quietly brings the dryer to people who never had room for one. Small enough to vanish in a pocket, a refillable butane jet torch punches far above its size, throwing a focused, windproof blue flame that laughs at a breeze perfect for searing food, soldering, lighting a campfire, or finishing a car mabre. The flame holds steady outdoors where ordinary lighters die instantly. Compact, refillable, and surprisingly powerful, it's the most useful thing you never knew you needed. Brushing cleans only part of your mouth. The rest hides between teeth, where bristles and even string floss struggle to reach. A cordless water flosser fires a pulsing jet that drives food and plaque out of those gaps and below the gum line in one pass. It's gentler than string, far easier with braces or implants, and rechargeable enough to run for weeks and work right in the shower. Brushing a coat of paint onto cabinets leaves streaks, bristle marks, and hours of regret. An HVLP paint sprayer atomizes paint or stain into a fine, even mist that lays down glass smooth without any brush strokes at all. Adjustable settings control the spray width and flow for furniture, fences, doors, and trim, and the whole job finishes in a fraction of the time. The first project alone makes a room look like it was refinished by a pro. A flat tire in a quiet parking lot can wreck a whole day. A cordless tire inflator turns it into a 5-minute fix. Dial in your target pressure, press start, and it pumps the tire, then shuts itself off automatically at the exact PSI. Car tires, bike tires, sports balls, and air mattresses all top up from the same palm-sized pump. A built-in light even handles the roadside emergencies that happen after dark. Scrubbing a bathtub on your knees is a workout nobody asked for. An electric spin scrubber spins a brush head fast enough to power through soap scum, grout grime, and stuck-on residue while you barely apply pressure. An extendable handle reaches the back of the tub, high tiles, and the floor without bending, and swappable heads tackle every surface. Fully waterproof and rechargeable, it turns the worst chore in the house into a quick, almost effortless lap. Sore muscles after a hard workout usually mean days of stiffness unless you pound them loose first. A percussion massage gun drives a padded head into tight muscles thousands of times a minute, delivering the deep tissue work that once cost a therapist's hourly rate. Multiple speeds and swappable heads target everything from a knotted shoulder to a cramping calf, melting tension and speeding recovery. A quiet motor and hours of battery let you use it on the couch, at the gym, or before bed. The relief is instant and weirdly addictive. That glowing check engine light is designed to make you panic and call a mechanic. A small OBD2 scanner takes the power back, plugging into the port under your dashboard and beaming the trouble code directly to an app on your phone. Instead of a cryptic symbol, you get a plain English explanation of what's wrong, how serious it is, and what the repair usually costs. You can even clear the light yourself once it's fixed, like having a mechanic riding along in your pocket. From here on, ordinary problems start meeting some genuinely unbelievable solutions. Stripping old paint by hand means hours of scraping and a pile of shredded knuckles. A variable temperature heat gun pours out a precise stream of hot air gentle enough to bend a PVC pipe, fierce enough to strip old paint off a door in long peeling sheets. Crank the dial, and it shrinks wrap tubing, loosens rusted bolts, thaws frozen pipes, or revives faded plastic trim. One affordable device replaces half a dozen specialty tools in the workshop. Laundry day shouldn't demand 3 flights of stairs or a pocket full of quarters. A portable mini washing machine folds down flat like a collapsible bucket, then pops open to wash a small load of shirts, socks, or baby clothes right in a bedroom or an RV. Fill it, let it agitate and spin, then drain it through the built-in hose. No plumbing, no installation, no trip to the laundromat. It weighs almost nothing and tucks into a closet between uses. For dorms, tiny apartments, campsites, and travel, it hands renters a convenience they never had the room for. A slow, gurgling drain is the warning sign everyone ignores until the water stops moving entirely. A cordless electric drain auger drives a flexible 25-foot cable deep into the pipe, auto-feeding as it spins to grab hair and grease and rip the clog free. Sinks, showers, tubs, and toilets all clear without harsh chemicals or a plumber's bill. One satisfying push of the trigger and the water roars down the drain again. That web of fine swirls across a car's paint shows up worst in direct sunlight. A cordless orbital polisher erases them, gliding a dual action pad over the surface to buff out scratches, oxidation, and haze until the finish goes mirror deep. Variable speeds keep it safe for beginners while still cutting like a professional detailer's setup. Watching dull, tired paint melt into a deep, wet mirror-like shine is the kind of before and after that stops you mid-scroll. Every shelf you've wanted to hang and every flat pack you've dreaded begins and ends with one tool. A cordless drill driver bores clean holes through wood, drywall, and metal, then switches to driving screws with adjustable torque so it never strips or over-tightens. A brushless motor and swappable 20-volt batteries keep it running through an entire build, and that same battery powers a whole platform of other tools. Light in one hand, yet strong enough for decks and framing. It's the one tool no toolbox is complete without. Accidents and road rage disputes always come down to one question: who's telling the truth? A front and rear dashcam answers it, recording the road ahead in sharp 4K and the view behind in full HD, day or night. Built-in GPS logs your speed and location, while a parking mode keeps watching even after you've walked away. If someone hits your car and drives off, the proof is already saved, waiting on the memory card. Half the food tossed from a fridge spoils simply because air got to it first. A vacuum sealer fixes that by sucking every bit of air out of a bag and heat sealing it shut, keeping meat, cheese, and leftovers fresh far longer than a normal bag. It stops freezer burn cold, locks in bulk buy savings, and even preps food perfectly for sous vide cooking. Less waste, lower grocery bills, and food that tastes fresh weeks later. A dead battery used to mean flagging down a stranger and hoping they had jumper cables. A pocket-sized lithium jump starter ends that ritual entirely, packing enough punch to crank a dead car engine back to life on its own. Clamp it on, start the car, and you're moving without a second vehicle in sight. Between rescues, it doubles as a phone power bank and a built-in flashlight, which is why it lives in glove compartments around the world. It fits in your palm, yet it rescues a stranded car all by itself. Pitch darkness doesn't stand a chance once this switch is on. A rechargeable tactical flashlight throws light bright enough to fill an entire backyard, then zooms from a wide floodlight down to a tight, long-throw spotlight with a twist of the head. Multiple modes cover everything from a steady walk to an emergency strobe, and a tough, water-resistant body shrugs off drops and rain. Slim enough for a pocket, yet powerful enough for a blackout, it's the first thing you'll grab when the lights cut out. Why own a drawer full of tools when one pen-sized device sands, grinds, cuts, polishes, carves, and engraves? A cordless rotary multi-tool spins interchangeable bits fast enough to tackle almost any material you point it at. Swap the head, and it sharpens a blade, then roots a groove, then buffs metal to a shine, all from a pen-sized body with no cord to fight. Hobbyists, jewelers, and DIYers lean on it daily because it collapses an entire toolbox into a single hand. Saturday mornings vanish behind a roaring push mower in the sun, or you let a robot handle it while you sleep in. A robot lawn mower steadily crosses the yard on its own, trimming a little each day so the grass stays even while fine clippings feed the lawn instead of filling bags. Newer models map the yard with no buried wire, steer around obstacles, and drive back to charge on their own. Rain or shine, the lawn simply stays done your least favorite chore handed to a tireless machine. Hauling a garden hose to a tap, then dragging a heavy corded washer behind it takes the fun out of cleaning. A cordless pressure washer cuts the cord completely, drawing water straight from a bucket, a lake, or a rain barrel and firing it out in a high-pressure jet powered by a rechargeable battery. Caked mud blasts off mountain bikes, patio furniture, and muddy boots wherever you happen to be. Liberated from cords and taps, power cleaning finally goes anywhere the dirt hides. The closer we get to number one, the more these stop feeling like tools and start feeling like magic. Trimming a stubborn branch shouldn't require dragging out a roaring, full-size chainsaw. A 6-inch cordless mini chainsaw handles it one-handed, slicing through limbs, logs, and overgrowth in a single pass with a lightweight body that almost anyone can control. It runs free of cords, gas, and intimidating bulk, just a battery, a trigger, and surprising cutting power. Spare batteries keep it running through an entire afternoon of yard work, and it tucks into a backpack when the job is done. Big tool power from something that fits in one hand. A lug nut torqued on by a machine or seized solid with rust will defeat any arm and break a bar. A cordless impact wrench delivers up to 550 Newton meters of hammering torque, spinning off the most stubborn bolts in a couple of seconds flat. Changing a tire in the driveway suddenly feels like a pit stop, and rusted scaffolding or machinery bolts surrender without a fight. A brushless motor and swappable batteries keep it punching all day. It's the difference between straining for 10 minutes and finishing before you've broken a sweat. Watch a glowing line of plastic harden in mid-air and hold its shape like magic. A 3D printing pen melts a strand of plastic and extrudes it as a warm line that sets almost instantly, so each stroke keeps its form as you draw. Lift the pen vertically and a flat doodle rises into a standing sculpture, a repair, or a tiny model. Kids build creatures, makers patch broken parts, and artists sketch in 3 dimensions. It's the closest thing to drawing with real, buildable magic. Few tools put on a show like a cordless angle grinder. It spins a disc fast enough to slice through steel bolts, grind down welds, and cut ceramic tile, throwing a shower of bright sparks with every pass. Going cordless frees it from the wall, so rusted hardware and metal railings can be cut anywhere on the property. Swap the disc, and the same body grinds, sands, or strips rust from old metal. It's raw, satisfying power packed into a tool you can carry in one hand. Cleaning your ears blind with a cotton swab is equal parts guesswork and gamble. A visual ear cleaning tool replaces the guessing with a tiny camera on the tip that streams a live, magnified view straight to your phone. You see exactly what you're doing in sharp detail as a soft scoop lifts the wax out safely. It's oddly fascinating, weirdly satisfying, and far gentler than jamming a swab in and hoping. Once people try seeing inside their own ear, they never go back to doing it blind. Restaurants cook a steak edge to edge perfectly every single time, and this is their secret. A Sous Vide precision cooker clips onto any pot, heats the water to an exact degree, and circulates it to cook food sealed in a bag flawlessly from edge to edge. Set it, walk away, and a steak, salmon fillet, or batch of eggs comes out impossible to overcook, tender, juicy, and identical every time. An app guides temperatures and timing for beginners, while a quick sear at the end adds the crust. It quietly turns a home kitchen into a professional one. A movie theater that fits in the palm of your hand once sounded absurd. A mini projector makes it real, throwing a bright, sharp picture up to 100 inches or more across any blank wall from a body smaller than a soda can. Built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth stream right from your phone or a streaming stick, with its own speaker handling the sound. So a bare bedroom wall, a backyard fence, or a tent ceiling becomes a private cinema in seconds. Pack it in a bag, and movie night travels anywhere you go. Few tools deliver this much wow for the space they take. When the power goes out, a wall of useless dark screens reminds you how dependent we've become. A portable power station is a quiet, fume-free generator the size of a lunchbox, holding a big battery that feeds standard wall outlets, USB ports, and a car socket all at once. It runs phones, laptops, lights, a mini fridge, or a CPAP machine through a blackout or a camping trip far from any plug. Recharge it from the wall, the car, or a folding solar panel. Clean, silent backup power that goes wherever the grid can't follow. There's a specific kind of ice that gas station fountains and hospital cafeterias have, and people become obsessed with it. A Countertop Nugget ice maker produces that exact chewable, pebble-soft ice at home, churning out a fresh batch in a fraction of the time a freezer tray takes. The soft nuggets soak up flavor and crunch instead of cracking your teeth, which is why fans treat this machine like a personal vice. Pour in water, press a button, and it self-cleans between batches. It's a small luxury that somehow turns a glass of soda into an event. Total darkness hides everything from the human eye, but not from this. A digital night vision monocular uses an infrared illuminator to light up a pitch-black field, yard, or trail and paint it onto a small screen in crisp detail. It records photos and video of whatever moves out there, from wildlife at the edge of a campsite to a noise in the backyard at 3 a.m. in daylight. It works as a normal zoom scope. Seeing clearly in complete blackness feels like borrowing a superpower the eye was never meant to have. Whatever you've seen so far, the final 5 play in a different league entirely. Permanently etching a custom design into solid material used to mean industrial machinery and a workshop full of fumes. A compact desktop laser engraver shrinks that down to something that sits beside a laptop, burning clean logos, names, and artwork into wood, leather, acrylic, and even some metals. It pairs with a phone, so a sketch or photo becomes a precise, permanent engraving in minutes. Crafters personalize gifts, small businesses brand their products, and hobbyists turn plain objects into one-of-a-kind pieces. Watching a beam of light carve a detailed portrait into a slab of wood never stops feeling like the future. Glass that turns solid at the flick of a switch sounds like science fiction, yet it's stuck to office walls right now. A switchable smart privacy film bonds to a window or glass partition and, with a small electric current, flips instantly from crystal clear to frosted and opaque. Hit the switch and a transparent meeting room becomes a private one. Flip it back and the view returns. It frees you from blinds to dust and curtains to draw just glass that obeys a button. It's the kind of upgrade that makes ordinary windows feel genuinely futuristic. Cleaning the outside of a second-story window is a job most people would happily pay to avoid. A robot window cleaner does it alone, suctioning itself flat against the glass and crawling across the surface in a methodical path while it scrubs and squeegees. Smart sensors map the edges so it never tumbles off, and a safety tether plus a battery backup keep it clinging even if the power blinks. Mirrors, glass doors, shower screens, and towering windows all get a streak-free shine while you stand safely on the ground. A dangerous, dreaded chore fully handed off to a machine. Most of the birds that visit a backyard come and go without anyone ever seeing them up close. A smart bird feeder changes that, hiding a camera right at the feeding tray that snaps crystal clear photos and video the instant a visitor lands. Onboard AI identifies the species and sends the close-up straight to your phone, building a living photo album of everything that stops by. Solar charging keeps it running, and the footage of a cardinal mid-meal is shockingly beautiful. It turns idle bird watching into a delightful little notification you actually look forward to all day. What looks like an oversized briefcase pulled from a car trunk hides the most jaw-dropping trick on this entire list. An origami-inspired folding kayak unfolds from a flat carry case into a full-size, rigid boat in only a few minutes. No pump, no roof rack, no trailer. Inspired by paper folding, its tough panels lock into a sleek hull that paddles like a traditional kayak, then collapses back down to store in a closet or a tiny apartment. City dwellers and travelers who never had room for a boat suddenly do. Watching a flat case become a seaworthy kayak is the exact that truly exists. Moment this whole countdown was built for. 50 discoveries later, and the everyday hassles you've lived with suddenly look optional. Which one's going in your cart first? Tell us below, hit like if even one surprised you, and subscribe, we're just getting started.